Hey guys, thanks for joining me again on the Curated Visuals YouTube. A little while ago I made a video unboxing my new 2020 iMac 27-inch, and I promised you guys a video comparing my old 2011 iMac and my new 2020 iMac. So today I'll be doing just that for you. Now, looking at these two iMacs, they do look very similar. From 2012 onwards, that newer generation of iMac had a thinner bezel, and then with the 2020 iMac, it's got a vent at the back which allows for better cooling, and also you've got the little slot as well that allows you to put the extra memory in there. Other than that, they look very similar. As you can imagine, the two devices perform quite differently. In my 2011 iMac, I've got a 3.1 GHz processor, it's an i5, and with 12 gigs of RAM, and it's currently running the High Sierra OS. That was the latest software you can install in the machine. At the end of the day though, it didn't affect how I use the machine. All my programs like Photoshop, Lightroom, Final Cut Pro all work quite well. With my 2020 iMac, it's a little bit more beefed up, so it's running a 3.8 GHz Intel Core i7 processor, and currently with 8 GB of memory. In the next little while, I'll be adding a 32 GB memory upgrade, and that will obviously bring it up to 40 GB, which will be awesome. In terms of graphics, both devices are quite different. My old 2011 iMac is running a AMD Radeon HD 6970 with the 1 GB memory, and then my new 2020 iMac is running an AMD Radeon Pro 5500 XT with 8 GB memory. So obviously, graphics, quite different between the two devices. If you're looking for an iMac used in Australia here, there's a few places you can go to. The most common one is Gumtree. So with an older 2011 iMac like this, you can pick for about 300 to about 700 bucks depending on specifications, and obviously that's a pretty big difference between a brand new iMac and an old one. So I guess what it comes down to is down to your budget at the end of the day. My 2011 iMac was actually pretty good in terms of editing and doing a few things here and there. The only issues I really found with it were when I was editing 4K footage. So for example, for these YouTube videos here, but you can imagine with something that's almost 9 years old with slightly older hardware, that's sort of expected. But in terms of editing photos, it was smooth, it was pretty straightforward. I did have to wait a little bit for Lightroom to warm up, but once it was up and going, it was pretty awesome. One thing that blew me away between the two iMacs were the screens. It's just unbelievable. So with my old 2011 iMac, it comes with a 2560 by 1440. Obviously it is a 27-inch, so it's quite large. And then with the 2020 iMac, you've got 5K display, obviously a much crispier, better looking screen, and it's complete night and day. I bought my 2011 iMac because I was editing on my MacBook Air. Now MacBook Airs are great, but they're not really great for image editing or video editing. So I really struggled there, but it did the job and it got it done. So what I did is I got onto Gumtree and I managed to find this 2011 iMac. One thing that I did find with it was half the screen was a little bit darker than the other half, and so that made it obviously quite challenging editing footage. So what I'd usually have to do to get around that is I would airdrop the image I'm editing to my MacBook Air, make sure that it looks good, and then obviously fix anything if I need to fix anything on the iMac. So that was a bit of a challenge, but after a little while I worked out how to edit properly on the iMac without having to airdrop anything to the MacBook Air to check. And having picked up the new 2020 iMac, it's been incredible. So editing has been smooth, I've had no issues with lag, Photoshop opens up in like seconds, and I'm not waiting minutes for big applications like that to open. But in terms of the experience as well of just using it, it's been incredible. So you've obviously got a much crispier display, so watching Netflix on there has been awesome. You've got the upgraded speakers, you've got the upgraded HD cam as well, so that's a big step up. I don't actually use the cam on the iMac, but you know, it is there if I do need to make any FaceTime calls or anything like that. Just to give you guys an idea of the differences in performance between the two devices, I found an app called Disk Speed Test. It is native to Mac OS, built by Blackmagic Design. What I've done is I've installed the program on both computers. As you can already see, it's honestly night and day difference. The newer machine is more powerful. It can just do things a lot quicker and easier than the older machine. I'm sure you guys aren't surprised by those numbers. Yeah, crazy. Just to wrap up guys, thank you so much for staying with me so far. If you are looking for an iMac that's reliable, that's got plenty of grunt, will just help you with your editing and just things that you need to get done, I recommend looking online, pick up something for a couple $100 and just use that for a little while until you can save up enough to upgrade to something a bit newer. A lot of people have this misconception that an older iMac equals lots of issues, but that's not always true. If that iMac has been treated well, you've used it, and you are happy with how it performs, then that's a good deal. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you push that subscribe button below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you push that like button. Thank you all for your support. I'll catch you guys next time. For 2020, you've obviously got the 5K. Yeah, crazy. These two iMacs look very similar.